Hi guys, Sunday blessings. I hope that you're all safe and that you're all well. I'm just coming on to do this week's tarot and oracle review video for you all. So this week I'm going to be reviewing the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards, and this is a really beautiful deck. Had this for quite a while, this one, and this is by Tori Hartman, and it's illustrated by Gretchen Raji Baskin. Not sure if I've said that right at the end, but you can see for yourself the pronunciation there. So beautiful box, and as you can see there's examples on the back of the spreads. This is created, or it's published by Watkins. Now we haven't seen any of their decks before, so there's their logo at the bottom, as you can see. Beautiful box, lovely matte finished, and then it's got this lovely pull out shelf, and then as we open that up, we have this lovely book inside. I will say the book's really good because everything is in like full colour, so that's really lovely to see. So we'll look at the book a bit more later because that's jam-packed with information. And then these are looking a bit scruffy, let's put them back a bit tidier. These are the cards themselves, all in this lovely box. So let me just pull these cards out. Let's just put the box to one side. So really interesting cards. I absolutely love the back of these. Now this wasn't designed this way, but this actually looks very similar. For those of you that have seen my book cover, Stranger in This World, it looks a little bit similar to that, you know, the way that the sort of cape, and it's a shorter cape, and obviously it's not Glastonbury in this picture, but there's a similarity there a little bit. But I like that you've got all the different layers which represent the chakras and everything else. That's really lovely. And then each of these cards are from a suit, so there's a colour which indicates what suit it's from. So obviously this is the indigo, so this is probably going to be you know, the psychic eye. And then it's got a word at the bottom, so this one, balance. So there's always like a word, an emotion, an energy of types. So we'll have a little look through these and sort of see what we get. I think artwork wise, these are probably different from anything I've shown you before. It's quite quirky artwork. I don't know if I'd call it fantasy artwork or if I'd call it more healing artwork. It's a collection of everything really. It's very kind of independent. The artist has got a clear style in the sense that once you've seen it, you really sort of resonate and see that that is, you know, whom it is. Oh, I haven't talked about stock quality. I just want to do that quickly. So stock quality, they're not the thickest, they're not the thinnest, they're gloss finish, which I think gives them longer lasting, you know, energies, but they're not, you know, they're not sort of the rigidest, the best in terms of stock quality. Size wise, they're small and sort of chunky, but they're interesting. So yeah, I like them. They're a little bit different, they're a little bit unusual. And you can actually do some really good readings with these, you know. I've done some, hence why a lot of these, they're not all in order, but quite a few of these are in order. Because when I've done them before with healing work and things of this nature, it's nice to have them in sets. And then obviously depending on what a person maybe is coming to you or needs you for, they can pick an additional card or pick from the sets that they feel connected with and resonated with. So you can use these a lot in healing, you can use these in readings, you can use these for personal work, or you can sort of obviously use these for clients if you have clients. Yeah, the artwork is, I don't want to call it childish because that sounds really harsh, but there's a playfulness to it, you know. But I do actually like the artwork. I think it's good. It's just a definite style that you know, you would recognise it, you would come across it, see it and be like, right, okay. Once you've seen it, you definitely know what you're dealing with. It's not necessarily realistic artwork, but I don't think it's intending to be either, you know. So it is interesting. Right, I'm not going to show you all of these, but I want to show you enough of them. I would say with this deck, it's a practical deck. It's one of those decks, it does what it says on the tin. I don't think it's necessarily visually the nicest. It's not ugly, but it's not necessarily one that you'd be buying completely for the visual side of things. This is a practical deck in the sense that it does what it says on the tin, and it's really good at helping in these situations and in these matters. Okay, So I'm going to show you like maybe a couple more. I want to show you enough of these so you can see, but I don't want to show you too many that, you know, things just look a little bit overwhelming. Maybe show you a couple more, and then there's a lot of these cards actually. I'm going to see how many's in this deck, because this looks like there's a lot of cards coming in here actually. Right, maybe like one or two more, and then that's going to be a lot, because I want to keep a few back just in case you decide to treat yourself to this deck. That's quite a nice one to actually finish on. So let's just see if it says, oh, hang on the back of this, if it says how many cards are in this deck. 49, so there are quite a few here. It's enough to be going on with, isn't it? 49 of the beautiful cards. Okay, so as we look at the book I have to say is lush. The book is definitely a 10 out of 10. There's so much information in here. So what we've got the opening sort of bits and pieces. So this sort of tells us firstly each of the colours, each of the sort of chakras and the sections as to what each card means as a sort of collective. So for the suits, then it's got an introduction to sort of the chakras in general, a little bit of information about that, which is fabulous. And then we're pretty much going straight into each of the sort of energies. So like this one, red, and it's talking all about the sort of base chakra. And then it's got loads of bits and pieces, keywords, different bits, and then there's more information about just that section of the chakra itself before we even look at the cards. And then as we look at the cards, each card has a message, a meaning, and then there's loads of additional bits and pieces. They all have a meditation as well, which is really nice. So they all give you a little meditation at the back, or at the end I should say. I'm just seeing if there's anything else in this book to offer. Then it showed, yeah, then we're going into at the back, layouts, loads of different spreads, loads of different layout options that you can do. Really lovely and fabulous to see and to have those. There's nothing as such about the author apart from on the very back page there's a little bit of spiel about the illustrator, sorry. You know, it is the author, not the illustrator, the author. So there's a bit about that on the back. So that's the book in its entirety. So let's pick a little card for this Sunday and see what we need to know about, see what the guidance is in store. So you see, even though this is a lovely deck, because the stock quality isn't that thick, they're bowing in the middle, because I've not really used these that much. A little bit here and there, but not overly that much. So that would worry me if they're bowing already, about if you were using these regularly, would they last, would they sort of stand the test of time? Because you want your tarot cards or your oracle cards to last you as long as possible. So that would concern me slightly. So it's just a slight thing to be aware about. But let's see what we need to know about for this Sunday, and more importantly for the coming week ahead. Because they're a nice little sort of dinky size, they do glide quite nice. Even though they're bowed, they are gliding quite nicely in the hand. They do feel quite comfortable to shuffle, I will say. Self-worth. Ooh, interesting card. This has been tested for me on a personal level this weekend with some stuff I've had going on. So self-worth. Let's see what this has to talk us through and what about. Okay, so this is cool. So we find the section, so we can go straight into the orange section, and then it's just got all of this information at the front. So obviously that is the sacral chakra, which I'm not going to read all of that, but it just talks about different bits and pieces, mainly our emotions. Now they're not in any number order, there's no numbers, so you've got to find it in the book, but that doesn't take long. So it's all of this piece here, so each card has a page, so that's a lot of information there, really, really nice. So hopefully we can just get quite a bit of stuff here. So it says here, the Solomon chair. Come sit in my chair and feel my love, says the great servant. And then it says here, the legend. The Solomon chair appears to an intuit child playing in the snow. Valley and river are the Solomon chair's protectors. I never get to see it, complains River Valley whispers. There are those who can close their eyes and see it. The child rushes home to tell her eldest about the chair, but no one believes her, and she lies down exhausted. Later, the chair appears to her again. She climbs in and feels the great servant's love. Interesting. Okay, so then we have the inspiration. People, events, and material objects beyond your frame of reference are being drawn to you. Aim higher. You will draw even greater experiences into your life. Allow your energy to grow. Receiving is an action. Personal inquiry. How do I relate to the word deserving? Am I ready to allow myself to receive what others may not? And then it's got key ideas. Greater knowledge, innocent, curiosity, being rewarded, receiving divine love. And then key words, faith, self-love, value. So these are all the things being perhaps tested for us at the moment in time, guys. And then the meditation is very basic, but it just sort of says here, let go of any tension as you fall like a feather into the Solomon chair. Imagine the chair receiving you. Feel yourself being filled with Solomon light. Stay there until you have received an abundance of energy from the light. So basically imagining yourself sitting in this chair, taking in the beautiful rays of light, healing, cleansing, releasing any trauma, any judgments, anything holding you back. So an interesting take there. You know, I quite like it. It's interesting. There's a lot of pieces to that, you know. So you definitely got information to be working with there. So I hope that this makes sense for some of you. Obviously we're in the Lion Gate portal and the energies are quite intense. They're quite extreme. And I think some of us are really being tested against the energies of that. So maybe this is why self-worth is coming in for a lot of us this week. But stay committed, stay true to your principles, to your values, to your belief systems, even if other people don't share, don't understand, or can't comprehend the reasons as to why you're doing what you're doing. That's what I was met with at the weekend. I was sort of met with quite some challenging, really Friday night, I was met with some sort of challenging behaviour in the sense of somebody didn't fully understand, they didn't fully get why perhaps some of my work was being done on Zoom, and at first perhaps they felt a little bit punished or a little bit limited until they actually kind of sat with that, and then I actually received an apology from this person just saying, look, I was a little bit out of order, can we sort of restart and sort of, you know, go from there, which was really nice because I actually felt quite frustrated with that whole situation. So yeah, this is making sense for me on a personal level, but I hope it makes sense for you as a collective message as well. So an interesting set of cards. These are not my favourite. Probably artwork, I think, you know, the artwork's a bit weird. It's not necessarily something I would be actively going out of my way to look for or to pursue. I do love the back of this. I think the back of the artwork is nicer than the front in a way. So for me, I think the artwork is maybe a 6 or a 7, quite low, you know, unfortunately on this one. The deck as an overall though, it does do what it says on the tin. So the deck in its entirety, I would say, is probably maybe more of an 8 or a 9. It's worth having in the collection. It's worth, if you're a counsellor, if you're a healer, if you're a reader that kind of goes into a little bit of counselling with your reads, then this is a really powerful deck because it is all chakra related. You can go so deep with it and you can get so many pieces of information. So it's good at being a practical sort of deck, but it's not visually the most beautiful. The box is lovely. I love the sort of artwork on the box, but some of the actual artwork inside is a little bit hit and miss, I think. But that's just my personal opinion. You might completely disagree with me with this one. But it's definitely worth having in your collection, so check it out. It is the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman. If you feel guided to it, definitely give this one a check out, definitely purchase this one, because I think it's fab to have in your collection. So I'm going to leave this with you. Stay safe, stay well, have a magical Sunday, guys, whatever you get up to, and I'll catch up with some of you lovelies very soon. Take care, bye for now.